Hi, I'm Rob.
And I'm Rob.
And this is Ask Rob and Rob.
Hello everybody and welcome to Ask Rob and Rob, the show where you give us your wonderful questions and we do our very best to give you some decent answers. This week we've got 2 wonderful questions in, but we want that to continue. So Rob, how do people continue to give us their questions?
Well, it couldn't be much easier. You just have to call 013 808 00035. That's 013 808 00035. Or you can visit propertyhub.net/ask. Either way, you can leave us a voicemail, wait patiently, and then we will answer that question for you, just like we're about to with Jonathan.
Hey, Rob and Rob. First of all, I want to thank you for the show. Great content. I just discovered you guys recently, but really enjoying you guys. My name is Jonathan, and I wanted to ask you something regarding renting versus, of course, buying. The thing is, I have a great job in London. Been living there for almost a decade, and this is a really good time to invest. Although I would like to still live in London, it's time to put my money where growth is. So I'm thinking about Manchester and Liverpool. The thing is, I would like to buy my first investment property. This is the first property that I am purchasing. The question is it possible to buy a property as your first purchase with a regular mortgage that you can live in that way? And will I be able, if I'll get that it has low interest rate, to rent it out to others? Are there any legal limitations? And if I do have to take a buy-to-let mortgage, will I have any limitations there if I choose to, let's say, live there in the future for a year or something like that, occupy my own space? Thanks again.
Jonathan, thanks for your question. I can understand for your first property, even if it's a buy-to-let, that you want to use a residential mortgage because you'll be able to use a low deposit. You could put 10% or maybe even 5% down instead of the normal 25% you would with a buy-to-let product, and the rates might be slightly less. One thing you might not have considered, though, is with a mortgage for your own home, it's highly likely that it'll be a repayment mortgage, which means that you're paying some of the capital down every month. But with a buy-to-let mortgage, it's just interest only. So the amount that you'll be paying each month should be a lot less, particularly if you've put a bigger deposit in as well. So that's why you may want to do it, but unfortunately, you're going to find it difficult to do it. Unless you are going to live in that property, at least to begin with, you're going to have to get a buy-to-let mortgage. Because if you get a residential mortgage and you have no intention to ever live in it, then effectively that's mortgage fraud. Now, does that mean it's never been done before? No, of course not. People have done that. But I want to make you and everyone else aware of what it is so you can make your own decisions. Now, if you do live in it for a short period of time and then decide to move out and then let that property out, then that is a potential option for you. That is called a consent to let. So you buy a property, you move in, you decide for one reason or another that you want to move out, you call your mortgage provider, get a consent to let, there may be a small admin fee of a few £100, and then they will let you let that property out. You don't have to put the additional deposit in, although it probably will remain a repayment mortgage. So that is a halfway house to doing what you want to achieve. But as I've said already, a buy-to-let mortgage, even if the rate is slightly higher, because it's interest only, the monthly payments are going to be lower anyway. It's just that bigger deposit you need to save for. But if you go for a property in Liverpool and Manchester versus London, then probably a 25% deposit down is the same as a 10% deposit down in London. So wherever way you look at it, you still should be able to get going. So I appreciate there's a lot to take in there, Jonathan, but hopefully that will help you make better decisions.
An excellent answer there, Rob. Let's see if we can repeat that for James.
Rob and Rob, hi there. James from London. Thanks for all the hints and tips so far. Very, very helpful. So much appreciated. We've just left a meeting with a tax advisor who has told us that you only pay stamp duty as if you're a limited company, as if you're paying on a single property. Clearly, that's a materially different outcome to if you're buying it as an individual. Case in point, we're looking to spend $330,000 on a property in a limited company. Apparently, that will cost $6,200. As an individual, it will cost $16,400. So clearly, £10,000 differential. That sounds too good to be true, in my opinion, and would just value your opinion one way or another. Many thanks. Hope to hear. Thanks.
Our advice, Rob, Get a new tax advisor?
Yeah, couldn't have got this one much more wrong, really. Stamp duty can be complicated in different situations, but this is not one of them. They've just got it backwards. If you're buying as a limited company, you will always pay the 3% surcharge, not that you don't have to pay the 3% surcharge. So as a company, it would cost the $16,400. As an individual, it would cost you the same if it was an additional property, but if it was your first, it would cost you the $6,200. So they've got it completely backwards. It's pretty basic stuff, so I would be very concerned about any other advice that you've been given by this same person. So for you, James, the takeaway is get a new tax advisor. For everybody else, the takeaway is if you're buying through a limited company, you're always going to have to pay the extra stamp duty. It's really annoying. It would be nice if there was an easy way where you didn't have to, but it's just a fact of life, unfortunately.
Okay, so 2 questions, 2 answers. We've done it again. We've completed the format of Ask Rob and Rob. We're getting good at this, and we'll be back next week to hopefully achieve the same thing. And of course, on Thursday, the main event, the Property Podcast, will be here. So until those wonderful events take place, take care, have fun. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.